And then again, the other game, Chicago finally beats the Packers, 24-22. They get a win for the first time in ages. 5-12 Bears.
Just a win, but a lead. That was the first lead that they had held on the road since the Washington game that started everything spiraling out of control. And in that game, they only held the lead for like 25 seconds before the Hail Mary. Like, this has been staggering season of ineptitude for Chicago up until this game.
And they were doing their part to blow it. A heave to Malik Heath for 41 yards in there. Potentially costly game for the Packers. So they got back into it with Emmanuel Wilson touchdown after the heave to Heath.
And a fumble. I mean, Chicago fumbled the ball away as well. Gave Green Bay the shot at it.
But you've got Jordan Love, who supposedly just hit his elbow.
Yeah.
It's not just funny bone, but it's just like any sort of elbow or UCL type of injury creates numbness right down your arm. Trust me, it doesn't feel great. So he's dealing with that, where he's shaking out his finger. So he comes out of the game. See what happens going forward. Jordan Love, Christian Watson, non-contact injury as well.
Very costly. Yeah, I forgot about that. This was such a costly game for Green Bay. Not only do you lose a game, Christian Watson goes down with a non-contact knee injury that usually spells curtains for a wide receiver for a given season. So that's him, done essentially for the playoffs. Jordan Love hurts his arm, throwing arm. Now you got your quarterback as a question mark heading into the postseason. So damaging game for Green Bay.
And I kept saying the Bears trying to lose this game. You and Ben were sitting over here. I missed the Keenan Allen interception, and you
one
guys
of the funniest plays of the season.
Like, what is going on here? And I had to wait till the replay to catch what he was looking at.
It's like trick play, typical wide receiver, passing option play. Keenan Allen looks up, surveys the field, sees three different Green Bay players, and just heaves it right into the middle of them with an utterly unbelievable play.
And then they gave it to him on an end around on a 2-point conversion too later with an option to pass. Like they're like defeating Keenan Allen run pass options this week in Chicago. So reports out of Chicago, Orion Poles will be leading the coaching search. There were rumors with how bad it ended that maybe he would be out as GM. It does sound like he'll be a big part of the coaching search here. And just so people know, what's going to happen with coaching searches, the reason why you're hearing people getting interviewed for the Jets, like Louis Riddick from ESPN and Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl, is because they weren't, employed by an NFL team. If people who are employed by NFL teams can interview requests will go out as early as tomorrow. So even playoff teams, you can send requests out. So we'll start hearing that for the Bears, for the Jets, for the Saints, some of these teams that have coaching vacancies. That's the news we'll be hearing in the next 24 hours or so. So obviously the biggest offseason development for the Bears, who's the next head coach, who's the guy you're trying to pair with Caleb Williams in the future. And then for Green Bay, their first loss against a non-good team, really, and they kind of played it halfway, right? They did a little resting, a little like, let's make sure Jordan Love's okay, and not go all out just for one seed here. So they're going to Philadelphia for week 1, and that's Commanders, Bucks, and Eagles, Packers, both rematches from week 1 this season.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay, I think, is still definitely live and dangerous in the playoffs, but they've definitely lost a little bit of luster in the last couple of weeks. I mean, they were theoretically right there with Minnesota and Detroit at the top of that division a couple of weeks ago, and since then, they've been fairly conclusively beaten, and then beaten by the Bears, and gotten a bit injured, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, they're still at least dangerous against Philly, but you would expect Philly to handle them.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.